Hello everybody and welcome back to some more Dominions 5. We are playing the 1v1 Agartha versus Ulm in the Middle Ages against Mr. Enti. We are in turn 29 and research and alteration is completed and enchantment level 2. So with, let's see, alteration level 4 is what? I don't remember why we did this one specifically. Curse of Stones, I think, is something that I want to try. And this testing out in the middle of a game is never a good idea, but we are going to try it. Anything else here? Like we can do Liquid Body on some of our Oracles of the Ancients. That's nice. Temper Flesh is good. I think I had hopes for Destruction. If anyone has an opinion or understands this spell, please let me know, because after the game is over, I still don't really understand it. Some of our Oracles of the Ancients will be able to do Stygian Skin, and at this point, we are approaching a turning point where we can thug with our Oracles of the Ancients against Ulm's armies. Now, alterations, evocation, enchantment level 2 doesn't give us anything right now, I think. No, but we are moving further down that path. Oh, I changed it up a little bit because I want alteration level 5 apparently, and that's for the Iron Warriors, but then I want enchantment level 7, which is probably a little bit optimistic. Let's do the battles here. So Wone, I moved something down here again. Oh right, this is just Rock Soul alone, trying to thug and take a province for us, and I think he will do it here. So he's doing Summon Earth Power. He's only got Protection 8, so that's not a lot. Oh, and I moved in 2 scouts to help him. Iron Skin on himself, so he's a little thuggy now. He's 20 Protection. Holy Avenger. And then what? Word of Power. Yeah, he's just going to spam Word of Power. Which against on Temper Flesh. Yeah. And Frighten. Okay, so he manages to take a province on his own. No, he's not done yet. Now he's spamming Skeletons. But there we kill the commander and they run away. So he got deceased, so I'm justifying that as just throwing him away as a thug, but he managed to take a province, so that's nice. There was a battle in the Giant's Spine. Up here, this is us attacking, or raiding, I guess, with a small contingent of Defenders of the Halls. We will take that one. Oops. Giant Spine here, no losses. In Blackdale, we are being attacked again. So this is the stack coming in. Moving off and then moving back on, and like we don't have anything here. So initially when I planned against Ulm, I think this is a really important point, I planned for this kind of thing and this kind of thing. A lot of melee troops with high armor, and I think Agartha can handle that rather well. What I did not account for is this ranged spam that we're seeing. Like this is the crossbows alone are not much, but then paired with this amount of priest smiths, they are throwing out more projectiles together than the crossbows are. And I was not prepared for this kind of range spam. It's hitting his own troops, which is nice, but really, we don't have anything to deal with this at all. Like, because all of our troops are super slow. And they are armor piercing, all of them. So, yeah. That's something that I didn't calculate on, and he's doing it a lot. Like here again, more focus on ranged than melee, really. And it's pretty concerning. The only consolation is that he is hitting his own troops. That's always something. An unexpected event in Kimberley, 38 gold. Giant Spine, we get some gems. No, 3 gems, but then a bad event all in all. We had Ruach's Pact, Ulm Conclave. I think I saw a Magic side, Onyx side, Onyx has found a magic site in Blue Forest, so a death site is really nice. 1 death gem. We got a siege in Blackdale, and our walls are damaged. We immediately go down to 323. So I think we have a lot of troops inside the fort, and that's why. We have 65 fort defense, siege defense. So it'll again take him quite a few turns to actually siege it down if that's what you want to do. And how are we handling this? We're just going to summon some units inside. Summon Penumbrals. They are pretty good against Ulm again. And then we'll see what he does, whether he stays. This is our armies inside. It's not a lot. Thought we had shot guards in here. I guess we left the shot guards behind because they don't have map move to move from Blue Moss Forest to Blackdale, right? So we are standing around here preaching now with Onyx because I don't want to move away from here. Let's see. Frederick is taking 10 of these magma children and moving them along the coast, so he will go and try to burn some whatever raiding forces come this way. So Ulm move forward up into Valedon here, and that's sort of gonna ruin my western portion of the map. We are gonna be raiding in behind him here and in here in case he doesn't leave a proper PD, so that's something. I like doing these smaller raids, but it doesn't always pay off. Sometimes it does though. Still trying to consolidate troops in the water to take over these 2 neutral provinces. That has taken about 10 turns now, and it's just losing time. I think Pebblehand here should not be side searching, but he is. This is a waste of this army's turn, an army turn. We could have been raiding here, where there's a... There's not a fort under construction right now. He might also counter by moving down there. I don't know what he's thinking here. He sees this army appear again along his coast. Well, we see this part over here now. I don't know if I've shown you it yet. He does not have this throne yet. There's a bunch of barbarians in here. So he has neglected this throne so far, which is nice. Let's see, moving up. Is there anything worth talking about here? We're doing a lot of smaller movements to get troops closer to Blackdale. We now have another set of Ulm Conclave moving in here. Or so we're moving another, what's he called, Oracle of the Ancients out with all of them. So here's the moving to the province and starting to build up. And again, if I hadn't stacked wiped in the last episode, we would have doubled the amount of shot guards in here, and then we would have a proper army, I think. Especially with what we also have in here, like 30 of these guys. We have some troglodytes. We do have proper armies. The stack wipe didn't help. We would have liked to keep those units around, and we might have been able to challenge this army. Right now I don't feel like I can. But we're building up over here. Yeah. Let's see what we're doing. We're doing summon and summon here for Penumbrals. In here we are doing Ruox packs twice, and now we're doing Enter Sight. So I have talked about this before. With any Earth Mage in the capital, we can say Enter Sight, enter the halls of the oracles, and then you get this little screen here where you can target any province. And now I don't know which province we targeted, so whatever, we can do like this one here. And we would get perfect intel on that province. The problem is I can't look at it here and see which province he's targeting, so we'll have to see next turn where I actually targeted. Forge fire in a jar here. We are forging black steel tower shield here. And that's it. We have a just man's cross now. What is this? This is a crossbow with armor piercing that we can give to like this guy here, Frederick, and it will take our bless. When we bless him, it will carry the solar weapons with it. so that's pretty cool. It'll make it deal decent damage. It's both pierce damage and armor piercing, so you take away like 60% of their original armor, and then it's 12 damage plus the 3 from solar weapons, so 15. It's enough to damage most of his troops, even with Legions of Steel up. So that's nice. Is it worth it? Debatable. Pretty cool though. We've covered that part. And here we're just moving, but not a lot. Building the temple up in Green Harbor and Palisades. That's sort of it. We're moving out a golem crafter from here with some units. Oh, and I think at this point we are getting all of our guys next to the range of shadow, and I have decided at this point that my play will be to move from Blue Moss Forest into range of shadow with all the things that we can muster nearby, take that, claim the throne, and then use that as a staging point to attack Blackdale and hold this region. And that will be the big play here. We will also gain this throne, which we don't know which throne it is. We have these thrones here. And we know it's not the Throne of Law. We know that it's probably a tier 2 throne. So Throne of Fortune is pretty good. We get luck in our dominion and some astral gems. That would be really nice. Misfortune. Increases misfortune. We can look at it here and see it has misfortune 3, so it's unlikely to be the Throne of Fortune. It has death. So it could be, I don't think any of these spread death, so that must be a site in there spreading death. Yeah. It could be the Throne of Misfortune, but I have that in my own dominion, so it's not guaranteed that this is it. Misfortune 1 will give 4 astral gems, which is really nice. You will recall that we have astral on our pretender, so he can use those gems when he comes around. The Outer Throne, First Dominion, gets to magic +1, which would be really nice for our research, and 3 astral gems. Then we have the Throne of Air. Blessed Troops gets Air Shield, and that we get air gems, which we can't really use, but we do get the Windmasters that would then allow us to use them, so this would be a pretty good one as well. And then the Throne of Knowledge, Lore Master, and Sage. Lore Masters being giving access to all the paths, which is really amazing. These guys are cool. The sages are just good researchers and can be a communion slave. So there's not any one of the thrones that I wouldn't want. Like the Throne of Fortune least of all, and we know that it's probably not that one. So one of these 4, all of them would be a good. It's going to be a rough fight to get it, but I think we can take it with this type of army here, supported by a good amount of chaff. This is what we're moving in this turn. I don't know that we are attacking next turn, but we will find out in a minute, because I am about to show you guys the next turn, assuming that we are ready for it. I think we are. So let's jump into turn 30. Turn 30. I'm trying not to show you guys how many turns are left. I'm scrolling too far. We have Ruach's Pact, Venumbles. And then that's all for summoning. No magic sites found. Then there are a good amount of battles. He's attacking us and we are attacking him. So in Blackdale, I'm attacking, and I think this is my usual poking, just to check whether or not he moves off my fort. Also we can get to see if he's changing his army layout and stuff like that. I think it is worth it. Our forces were beaten, but he runs away, so it's fine. In Anoria, we are attacking with Rock Soul, is that his name? Yeah, our deceased guy. He's just going to move forward and try to thug it out. Let's see if he can take this province here. Now here we have a proper army from the opponent. He kills the first few. Now he gets to protection 20. He has Temper Flesh up, so he won't take a lot of damage from the enemies. Earth Meld. This is actually pretty good. It's going to be splitting up the enemies. of melt again. It's not dealing any damage, but these guys will not be participating in the important part of the fight. So it's fine, and we do it again. So now we only have a little trickle of units coming in to actually attack. And that was what? Destruction. So destruction. Yeah, even with the low magic resistance on these guys, it doesn't do anything. So I'm super disappointed in destruction. I know this is the first time we cast it, but this will be a tendency that we see throughout the rest of the game, is that I'm casting destruction and it doesn't really do anything. Now these two guys, can they thug it out versus this amount of enemies? This guy only has protection 15. Don't know why they aren't hitting. Okay, here's a hit. This is Holy Avenger, I think, striking down on them. So we're dealing some afflictions at least. They will have trouble damaging Rock Soul. They did it already. The other guy goes down. But on average, they won't damage him here. And that's the Holy Avenger going down. Yeah, but they get him. So, that was an Anoria. We killed 2 Blackblade infantries. Yeah. Sad end for Rock Soul. In Valadon, we are attacking. I think raiding. With a small force. He still has a stack in here, so they will be horribly murdered. In Dural Woods, we are raiding, and he has 5 Black Knights in here. I think he actually moved them into counter raid, which is really good. Well done. Can we overcome some Black Knights with our defenders of the halls here? They do some damage, but they will not be able to pull through. So we didn't win any of our battles. It's just raiding, so it's not anything important. And in Sotov, oh no, new stuff is happening. This is my fort way up in the north, where he's not anywhere close by. But Mr. NT is a clever little fella. He has started producing these pocket ships, which I think is a construction level 6 item. And we now see that he has a decent nature income and a nature mage of at least level 3, probably at least level 2, and an air magic. So we can again guess that this is probably the contender. And at this point, I think it's he probably has 2 in every path, and then he forged a, what's it called? The nature booster that you can forge at level 2 to go to level 3, and then he can make these pocket ships. So now he can move his some raiding armies around my coast, and this is just a really good play. I didn't expect it. And we know that our standard PD is no match for a bunch of Black Knights, so we will be horribly murdered as usual. With a bit of luck, he does some friendly fire. Oh god. Yeah, we didn't get anything. In Woni, he's moving up a new army to support his main stack on Blackdale. And it's just a bunch of more Black Knights. They lose a Black Knight. Oh, look at that. An unexpected event has occurred in Sothdaegard. Unrest in Green Harbor. We gain unrest and lose gold. Erectus was discovered and attacked in Valadon. So a scout that wasn't set to run away, I guess. So he dies. We have constructed the palisades in Green Harbor. But it is now under threat for this sailing force which he has. The only thing that is a little bit dicey for him about this is if I manage to catch this stack out with the Black Lord, we might, he can lose that item and we might get it, which is something that I will be hoping to do to beat his little raiding stack here. But you're gonna have to catch it, and it's not gonna stand still, of course. So that's something to think about. Now we're under siege in Blackdale. We're down to 154, so about the same level we were before, but now more units will be moving in. So for sure, next turn, if he wanted, he can move this stack up and be on top of the Blackdale, and then he will be able to take it. But this turn, we are attacking in the range of Shadow. This is our army, and I think it is pretty good, pretty big army we have here. This is the setup, just a ramshackle of different things. We have mostly defenders of the horse to take the brunt of the force. So they are all up front. Like the Shark Guards are actually at the front, but they will be overtaken by all the other units before the battle lines are actually joined, and I do want them to hit the enemy at some point in the fight, so that's why they are set forward. We have Olms in the back, I think about 20 of them, to sit and mine blast everything. They are set to attack Open Fire Cavalry, because we have those centaurs running up, and those will be the first thing that we have to fight. And they stun people with this mine blast as well. So they, like the Earth Meld, some of them will be stunned and then left behind, so that you have this trickle of forces coming towards you instead of a full force. That's going to be sort of their job. We have fire cavalry on those few archers that we are bringing, and most of them are set to attack cavalry. I want them to meet the centaurs head on and kill them, and then they will deal with the wine ogres. That'll be the second wave, and then the rest doesn't really matter. So I think we can beat them without major losses. We are moving in 1, 2... just 2 Oracles of the Ancients, 1 Golem Crafter. It's way too low magic support still. I really need to get better at this. But we have 2 of these Earth Readers that have an Earth Gem each, so they can cast Summon Earth Power, and with that they can do Earth Might. So that's going to be their job. It's not really super useful, but we don't have Strength of Giants yet, so it's something. And they can do this Armor of Achilles thing, which is like the destruction spell, but area of effect 1. And I'm just thinking, like, let's try it, but it's really not that effective. It does like literally nothing. So inside the fort of Blackdale, we are holding tight. We have summoned Penumbrals. We now have a little stack of them, which is nice. We are doing Enlivened Sentinel, which is the new thing we've researched on enchantment level 3. So it's in here. Enlivened Sentinel is 3 gems. You get 1 of these statues that are sacred. So that's nice. They are better than the other statues that we can get, and they are size 3, I think. So they are pretty good. And they have high protection. All in all, pretty good units. Anything else to note here? Enlivened Sentinel, 2 of them. Trying to build up some forces in here. The idea is that we will take Range of Shadow. He's not coming into Range of Shadow. So next turn we will have an army in here, and we will have an army in Blackdale, and then I can make the move from Range of Shadow to Blackdale and break the siege in the same turn. And then we will claim the throne in that same turn and have whatever benefit that may have as well. I still need to move out more mage support. We're moving a bunch of units over here that can deal with this little raiding stack and sort of, but the likelihood of them staying here is not that big. The fortification went down by 20 points, so he's not going to break in this way. Building a lab in Green Harbor, and Palisade still being built here in Summer Bay. I think he can even sail all the way down here in 1 turn. So that's bad, and I guess I'm not even doing anything to prevent it. On his west coast, though, we are doing some raiding now. This is where we scryed. So scrying in here, we can see that we get this information, which should be very accurate. So we have 16 units here. We can see that he moved out a stack from here. So it has not organized any local defense. So Gemthought from over here will grab a bunch of units and just sit on top of the fort again. Meanwhile, we will move into Titan's Breath Peak. We can also see that He was raided by some barbarians here. I am assuming that he's still not doing PD6 in his provinces, which he should really do. So that's something. He might not be aware of the PD6 thing, so if you are listening, Mr. NT, you can learn that here. There are some events that are specific for having lower than 6 PD, and that is usually barbarian attacks or stuff like that. Anything else? We have gone through everything. We now have more items in store, but we are not using any of them right now. We're getting another conclave out already. I think I alchemized a few gems to make sure we broke above 20. We're also doing 3 Ruach's Pact now, stepping it up a bit. So we can start burning our fire gems, pun intended. And yeah, like trying to reach some sort of critical mass of magma children to really burn down Orm's armies. Alright. And that's sort of it for this turn. That was 2 turns covered already. I don't know that there are many other things to talk about. This is gonna be a really big battle for this throne, and then another big battle for Blackdale. And if we lose that one, I think this is the turn where NT tells me that it would be okay if I concede. And I'm like, no. We still have stuff going. He can't see all my stuff though, so he is fair enough. It's fair enough that he asks, but I'm not about to give up while we have this kind of army standing around. Like, this is a pretty big army we're moving in. It's not something to challenge Orm's armies alone, but it'll depend on how well we do in here, and so on and so forth, and also the army movements in the next turn and such. So it's about to reach a sort of a climax at least, and we'll see how it goes. Hope you guys are still enjoying this playthrough. We are now gonna try the Tiffian Sea again with a rather big stack. So this time we should get it, and then we can take Antediluvian next. But like, we should have been in here like 5 turns ago. Oh well, this is it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.